Hey everyone, Aaron here, and this is anime review number 97. And today we're looking at Dance and the Vampire Bund. Now, Dance and the Vampire Bund is a very cut and dry concept. We have Mina Tepes, who is a vampire supreme leader essentially, where she makes an announcement to the world that she's tired of hiding from the rest of the world. She wants people to know that vampires are real. And what she does is she goes, vampires are real, and what we're gonna do with the world is we're gonna make our own society within human society. So essentially, she makes what was essentially called a bund, which is a giant facility, a giant organization that's almost like its own little land, which it is technically its own little land. And there, all the vampires live and are going to be free from hatred and from human kind of interactions beyond just here and there. They'll talk to one another. They might go to schools with one another, but they will not really intervene too much with the human world. They don't want to do that. And the way they're gonna get like their blood samples and all that is they're gonna do it legit ways. They're not gonna go around attacking humans to get blood from them like they have been in the past. They want to make a kind of transition into the modern day of society by being unison. They want to work in unison with one another. Now, of course, that is not the whole story, though. That's how the first episode starts. But we end up meeting that our main character, Akira, is actually this guy who he has no memory of anything. He's trying to remember who he is. He ends up running into Mina, who sees him right away and goes, huh. Like, she remembers him right away, but she doesn't say it right away. In fact, Akira does know Mina very well because he's supposed to be her guard. He is a werewolf, and he's supposed to be her servant in protecting her. But he, after a traumatic experience, which is explained later on, I'm not gonna spoil it, but he is actually then told, hey, listen, you have to protect me. There are people that want to do me harm. You protect me. And he remembers that he loved her. He loved her when he was younger, and he still loves her now. And at first, it seems like there's a little tension here and there, but quickly that kind of is removed in the show. The show then kind of focuses on the romance between the two, as well as them trying to figure out how to set up the society. Now, Dance of the Vampire Bund has a few issues with it. Few issues. Number one, the pacing of the anime is very fast. It's a show that goes by like that. Like I snap my fingers. It's so quick. It's 12. I think it's 12 episodes long. But by the 11th episode, you're going to be still lost on a lot of concepts because they're never fully explained in the story. Um, and that's a shame. They'll explain why Mina takes the childish form. They explain that. There is some creepy moments in the show occurring because of her childish form. I'll tell you that right now. It's actually pretty disturbing. I remember I watched this. I watched this 5 years ago, so I was 20 around that. Because I did watch this when it first came out. But honestly, it was very odd to me some of the stuff that they did in the show. Despite her having like the body that she has, and it's kind of creepy. They explain why she takes that form though, because she does have another form, but she doesn't explain why she has that form. She explains it later in the show. And it's interesting. It makes sense too. So it's not stupid, but it's a little awkward to watch the show sometimes, especially when you have never seen, I think, lolis. If you've never seen loli in anime before, which is very strange, but if you're new to anime and you haven't seen lolis, it's a little something to get used to. It's creepy in the show, it really is. Besides that, Dance of the Vampire Bund is a fun show to watch. It really is. It's got vampires. It's got some action. Akira is badass. He does some cool stuff. There's a scene I remember really vividly where he is running down the side of a building as part human and part werewolf. I think that's like the first or second episode, I want to say, but he's trying to save Mina, and it's just so cool. The animation for this show, even though it's old, like 5 years old now, it's stunning. It really is. The show has a lot of nice animation going for it, and I love the visuals. I think the visuals in general, like the way the characters look and interact, even when they're not doing action-packed scenes, looks really nice. It really is a nice flowing show. Voice acting wise, English wise, I really like the show. It has some very strong talent. Let me actually look up the names of some of these people I forgot. Monica Rial does Mina, which is Monica Rial is one of my favorite voice actresses in English. She does a lot of stuff. Alpha Legrang, I do not know too much of his work. I'm not gonna look it up right now. I could easily just Wikipedia it, but I'm not gonna do that. Um, I don't know too much of his stuff. I know he's in some other things, but he's not really a well-known anime voice actor for me at least. But yeah, Japanese dub, this is not bad either. I think Japanese dub, I wish they would have maybe went a little different with Mina's voice. I think what works is Monica Riala has like a kiddish voice sometimes. She could do a older voices too, but she does have a kiddish voice, and I think it works for her character design wise. but at least it still has some air, I think, of maturity, if I want to make it sound like that. While the Japanese dub kind of makes it sound like she's just a little girl, and it's a little weird. It's a little off-putting too if you watch the show, but it's not bad. It's not. It is what it is. It's not a bad. It's not bad either. English dub or Japanese dub. You'll have a good time with it. But yeah, one of my biggest issues is the ending of the show. The ending has a very kind of not conclusive ending. It's more not even a cliffhanger. It's more just here's what happens and that's it. There's no further explanation of it. There's no understanding what's the last imagery of it, and that is because the manga finished for this not that long ago, but it's really more so hasn't been completed yet either. And what's I said it's finished, but it's weird because the manga has I think a second season that they want to do with it, like a second arc, but they haven't really done that with it yet, at least to my knowledge. Um, but what's weird is that the anime tries to go off I think the first arc of the manga as best as they can, but they don't continue it any further. And I'll be honest with you, 5 years already has passed. It's highly unlikely the show's gonna continue, so I'm just gonna say that the ending for this is pretty garbage for what you're gonna get. But I'll be honest with you, it doesn't ruin the show. At least it's not one of those endings that ruins the whole show. The whole show has this air to it that's really cool. If you love vampire stuff, you'll love Dance of the Vampire Bond. I really highly recommend checking out. If you do not like vampire stuff, I'll tell you right now, I don't know if you'll like this. It's really this is centered on vampires, werewolves concept, but the vampires take center stage in Dance of the Vampire Bond. But if I had to review it A through F, I have to give it a solid A minus. I love Dance of the Vampire Bond. I think despite all its creepiness and despite its weird, stupid ending, I think the show is a nice romance element. I think the show has some nice action. Visually, the show is awesome. The music is great. I love Dance of the Vampire Bund has some of the best like opening and closing songs I think of the show. I watch them on YouTube occasionally just for the heck of it. I think it was the opening that I love the best of the show though, and it really does have a really cool opening. So definitely check that out. But anyways, guys, that's it for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. Share the video if you do like it also. And as always, until our paths cross again in the next review, have a good one, everyone. Bye.